all start?
Well, it was this Archduke Ferdinand fellow, wasn't it?
What about him?
Well, he was assassinated, wasn't he?
Who was he?
Well, he was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian
The
throne.
what?
The Austro-Hungarian throne.
Where was that?
Well, it was in the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Where was their empire?
Well, it was Austria, right?
Right.
And it was Hungary.
Was that it?
Yeah.
It's not much of an empire.
Oh, I suppose not.
So this fella, the Duke.
Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah, him. He was heir to the throne, right?
Yeah.
Of Austria
Yeah.
and Hungary.
Yeah.
So we had two thrones.
No, they shared one.
Where was it?
Well, it was in Vienna.
That's Austria, right?
Yeah.
So why wasn't it in Hungary?
Look, it's complicated. It was a dual monarchy, right?
Right.
But Austria pulled all the strings.
Right. So he was heir to the thrones.
Throne. Just one.
Throne then. Who was the king?
Emperor.
Emperor.
Yeah, it was his uncle, Franz Joseph.
And he was Emperor of Austria.
And king of Hungary.
Emperor and king.
Yeah, I told you it was complicated.
Okay. So why was he assassinated?
Well, you see, right, well, what happened was...
You don't know, do you?
Yeah, I do. It's just complicated.
Make it simple?
I'm not sure I can.
It goes back years. The Austrian Empire was like a melting pot of different nationalities and ethnicities. It was like a massive family, but they argued a lot and pulled each other's hair. And some of them decided they wanted to leave home, but Ozzy said no.
Ozzy?
Austria.
Yeah, so they kicked off and had a bit of a sulk, and then Ozzy said he was going to get his big Uncle Ross to sort them out.
Uncle Ross?
Russia.
And did it?
Yeah, he did. He came over, kicked their asses, so everyone had to live in one big house again, and Ozzy was the daddy.
Did Uncle Russ go back home?
Yeah, he did, but he told Ozzy he owed him big time, and a few years later, when shit kicked off in Crimea, Uncle Ross asked Ozzy for help, but he said, no, on your bike.
Was Uncle Russ upset?
I'll say, right, and then when some other big boys started arguing...
Who was that?
Frank and Ian.
France and Italy.
Yeah, well, Ozzy tried to get involved, but it ended up in a bit of a mess, and then Ozzy tried to take it out on Jerry, and Ozzy came off worse.
Jerry?
Germany, next door neighbour.
What about the kids?
Well, they were getting bigger and wanted a bit more room, so Ozzy said he'd make it better for them.
And the Austro-Hungarian Empire was born.
Ta-da! But they wanted a bigger garden for the kids to play in, so they knocked down the fence between them and their other neighbours and moved in there too.
Who was the other neighbours?
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
They're funny names.
Lovely couple.
Were they okay with that?
Not really, because and neither was Uncle Russ, because he was mates with them, and then Ozzy just comes in and knocks the fence down just like that.
Blimey.
Jerry was getting jealous of Ozzy spending time with the new neighbours, so Jerry tried to make friends with Ozzy.
And then Jerry got a bit bossy, so Ozzy went and asked Uncle Russ for help.
Yeah, but Uncle Russ told him to get lost and go play with his new friend Jerry.
None of the other boys liked him anymore.
And then Ozzy went to ask his nephew and his missus to go ask Bosnia and Herzegovina if they would come and play.
Who was his nephew?
Franz Ferdinand.
Oh, that fella we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
So he went to see Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yes.
What did they say?
It didn't go too well.
No, it didn't. They shot them.
Shot them?
Shot them.
Both of them?
Him and his missus.
Bloody hell. It's a bit much, isn't it?
You could say that.
Well, what happened then?
Well, Ozzy got a bit upset and said he was going to come and get them.
And a war was declared.
Oh, between Ozzy and Bozzy.
Well, between Ozzy and Serbia.
Who's Serbia?
Told you it was complicated.
Oh, 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 it's a lovely war. Oh, we roast with eggs and ham, when with the plum and apple jam. Comfort, Richard, how can we spend the Bolivian? Oh,